Welcome, CIMA students. Are you ready to really master the skills that separate a good finance professional from a truly great one? Well, in this explainer, we are diving deep into Chapter 2 of your E1 syllabus to do exactly that.
So let's start with the big question, the one that really defines the modern finance role. How do we take this sea of raw data and transform it into actual, tangible business impact? It's not about just being a number cruncher anymore, not at all. It's about being a storyteller, a strategist, and honestly, a catalyst for change. Here's how we're going to break it all down today. We're going to follow that exact journey, from raw data all the way to real impact. We'll cover the finance value chain, how to turn data into information, then how to forge insight, influence key decisions, and we'll wrap up with the absolute cornerstone, being an ethical professional.
Okay, so let's get started with the big picture, the finance value chain. I want you to think of this as the essential blueprint for how we create value in any organization. It's really the foundation of everything we're going to talk about. It all begins with raw, messy, unprocessed data. From there, our job is to refine it, to shape it into meaningful information. Then we dig deeper to uncover a powerful insight. But here's the thing, insight on its own is useless if it just sits in a report. We have to use it to influence. We use that influence to drive smart decisions, and that is what ultimately leads to tangible business impact. See the flow? That is the journey of value creation in finance. All right, let's zoom in on that very first crucial step, turning all that raw data into useful information. This is the foundation of our entire value chain. I mean it. If you get this part wrong, the whole structure just collapses. In our world, we deal with two main types of data. On one side, you've got your neat and tidy, structured data. Think of the clean, organized numbers in your spreadsheets. But on the other side, you have unstructured data. This is the chaotic but incredibly rich information you might find in customer emails, social media comments, or even images. A truly great finance pro knows how to operate and find value in both of these worlds. And this brings us right to the huge challenge of big data. You see, it's not just about the sheer volume of it. It's also the velocity, how incredibly fast it's coming at us. It's the variety of types we just talked about. But for us, the most critical V of all is veracity. Can we actually trust this data? As finance professionals, we are the guardians of veracity. That's our job. So how do we actually guarantee that veracity? Well, it comes down to a really disciplined process. First, we collect the data from all its different sources. Then we have to clean it, and this is a big one, getting rid of all the errors and duplicates. And finally, we integrate it all to create one single, unified, and trustworthy view. This is the meticulous, behind-the-scenes work that makes all the powerful analysis possible. Okay, once we have that clean, reliable information, we can start the really exciting part. We can begin climbing what's called the analytics ladder to turn that information into game-changing insight. Let's think of this as 4 levels of analysis, each one more powerful than the last. Descriptive analysis just tells us what happened. Our sales were down 10% last quarter. Okay, interesting. Diagnostic analysis tells us why it happened. It's because our main competitor launched a massive sale. Now we're getting somewhere. Predictive tells us what will happen. If this trend continues, we're going to miss our quarterly target. And finally, the most powerful level, prescriptive, tells us how to make something happen. We recommend launching a targeted promotion to win back those customers. You see that? That's the journey from simply reporting the past to actively shaping the future. Think this is some kind of science fiction? It's not. Amazon uses your browsing data to predict what you're going to buy next with such accuracy that they have patents to start shipping products to your local warehouse before you've even clicked the buy button. That is the incredible power of predictive analytics in the real world.
Okay, having an insight as powerful as Amazon's is one thing, but it is completely worthless if you can't get anyone to act on it. And that brings us to the next crucial step, influencing decisions. This is where we stop being just analysts and start becoming true business partners.
First things first, we have to know our audience. Who are we actually trying to influence? Well, these are our stakeholders, and that can be anyone from the CEO and board members all the way to department heads and team leaders. Now, this is Mendelow's matrix, and it's an absolutely essential tool for managing stakeholders. It helps you strategically map everyone out based on 2 simple things: their level of power and their level of interest. This tells you exactly where to focus your energy and how to engage with each person.
Let's test this out. Imagine you have a shareholder with a ton of power, but really low interest in the day-to-day stuff.
Where do they go? Right, they land in that top left box, keep satisfied. You don't need to bog them down with every little detail, but you absolutely have to make sure their core needs are met. You got to keep them happy because they have the power to stop your project in its tracks.
And this is the absolute essence of influence. It's not about showing off your complex Excel model. It's about translating all that complexity into a simple, powerful story that the sales director or the marketing manager can understand, get behind, and get excited about. You are the translator between the world of numbers and the world of action.
And finally, we come to what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole discussion. It's the foundation that holds up the entire value chain. Without this, everything else we've talked about is meaningless. We're talking about ethics and professionalism. As you go through your CIMA qualification, you're going to build your technical, business, people, and leadership skills. But I want you to see how all of those skills rest on one solid bedrock: ethics, integrity, and professionalism. This isn't just another subject to study for an exam. It's the very core of who you are as a professional.
A huge part of this is something called professional skepticism. Now, this isn't about being negative or cynical, it's about having a questioning mind. Remember when we talked about the veracity of big data? Well, this is how we ensure it. We critically assess every single piece of information before we even think about using it to build our analysis.
Please, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this: your ability to influence people is built entirely on trust. Trust is the currency of influence. Without a strong ethical core, all of your amazing technical skills are worthless. Your ethical reputation is your single most valuable asset. Protect it fiercely.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In a world where AI and automation are taking over the number crunching, what is the uniquely human quality that's going to make you indispensable? I believe it's the skills we've talked about today: ethical judgment, the ability to influence, and the power to tell a compelling story. Master these, and you won't just survive in the future of finance, you will absolutely thrive.